All righty, all righty. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher, has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm glad to be back. And I hope that this message in which I am going to upload would benefit many out there, and it would help you understand really where we stand today and where we have been for quite some time, that brings out pretty much what you're seeing today in the world today, and the reason why the Most High have given me that which I needed. And I want to say, send a shout out to him. Thank you, Father Yah, for all that you were, all that you is, and all that you're going to be. And I just thank you for being about what you say, and you say what you about. And I just thank you, Father Yah. And that grace and that mercy, thank you for allowing it to rain on each and every last one of us. We thank you, Father, for that grace and that mercy. And we forever, at least I know I forever, Father, give you the praise and the glory and the honor. That's to thee. Amen. Amen. Father, the Father has shown me some things, and He has brought me into His arms, and He has comforted me in a way of understanding why these things need be. He reminded me of words I have spoke several times. He brought the words in which I have spoken several times on this devil platform, and that was, "It is finished. It is finished." And I'm not coming back. He's not coming back to make the crooked straight. He's not coming back to make the things fall back in order or back in place, or he's not going to turn people around and make them, be righteous. Those days are over, you guys. What you see is what you're going to get. What you are beholding in this day and time is what it is. So he was reminding me in time past how I uploaded videos stating that it's finished. So he used those same words to press upon me. It is finished. I said, Father Yah, the last video I was dealing with the fact that I'm seeing this in the natural, and then I'm also seeing it in the spiritual. So I'm wondering, how long must you allow them to continue in such an evil and wicked mindset? How long? And I felt that I've gone to the altar of the Most Higher, and have fallen before His feet. And when I cry out unto the Father during these times, the time that I go before Him, He gets up off His throne. Y'all don't understand it. You don't know what I'm talking about. He comes up off that throne. It's like a father, his child is hurting and crying, and he hears his child, he sees his child, and he want to do everything to help his child. He gets up off that throne, and he always and throughout times have respond to me when I go to that altar. So I felt that if I go to the altar of the Most Higher and fall before His feet, surely He'll come right now. He will come right now. But the Father wanted me, no, no, Deborah, I'm not coming. I've already informed you. It's over. It's finished. I know you're seeing it for what it is, because I am the one who given you the eyes to see and the ears to see it for what it is, not what someone said it is and what someone think it is, or someone feel that it is. I've given you it to see and hear what it is and what it was, strictly from me to you. So therefore, you must understand, as you have spoken several times on videos, it's finished. It is finished, Deborah. So don't come to the throne thinking that I'm going to get up off this throne. I'm not coming. So I decided, okay, I just shut down until I see that mighty right hand. And I've seen the hand of Yah. That is his power. It has taught me great things since my time of rest. Rest where? In his bosom. It have taught me things that I've read before, I understood, but when the Father comfort his child, it's different, y'all. Because before he leave me, he gets me, pull me from his bosom, or he set me where he want me to continue to run. He want to make sure that I understand fully what he has just given me while I laid my head in his bosom. So I want to share that with you. I want to share some of this with you so you too can kind of understand why Deuteronomy 28 has an end game. Why is it in Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24, see that our men shall die by the sword and by the war, and our mighty men? See, what we do as women, we deny spirit and truth. We deny the light. We deny the power therein. But if you're walking and speaking spirit and truth and walking in the light, it's high time you see darkness for what it is. And I want to go into, we're going to go into, so get your Bibles, your pencils, your paper, and I want you to write down Second Timothy, Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. hmm And then we're going to also cover Romans chapter 1, verse 16 to 32. And we're going to bounce off of Matthew 24, verse 3, 4, and 5 to kind of get you a feel of how and where the mindset of the tribe of Judah is this day. The words that is in the book have fully given us the understanding of where our men are at today. So the things that we're seeing, we should see. And that's what he was telling me. When you were saying you could see it in the natural and you can see it in the spirit, you should see it. You should see it. I said if it was so, it will fool the very elect. You can't be fooled, Deborah, because I've given you all the tools to use in the presence of this world today, in the presence of the world to come, and the world of yesterday. I've given you the tools. Use them. All you have to do is stay in your lane. And you're going to do that because I'm running in that lane with you. When you get tired and weary, I'm going to comfort you and give you the strength to run on. When you fall in the lane, I'm going to be there to pick you up with a stretched out arm and a right hand. When you get troubled in the lane, I am there in the presence of your trouble. So the Father just gave me a lot of comfort of knowing and assurance that all is well. It's going to be okay. And I'm going to continue to see it. I'm going to continue to see these things in which I'm beholding. I'm going to continue to see him. He's not going to he's not going to uh uh blind me from what he has blessed me to see, the gift to see and the ear to hear. I give him all praise and glory. Now, this topic is going to be a very, very powerful, strong topic. I don't know how I'm going to title this topic, or not how, but what. It's going to come at the end, the title of this message. So let's get busy. We're going to start with Second Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter, 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 chapter 3. And let's go there. This is going to be really good. And the reason what's going to make it good is because you're about to see in Romans and in Timothy, in Second Timothy, how the distance between the time period, but yet the warning, and who are they speaking of, and what time period. I want you to see it's going to bring you all the way home to where you're at today. These verses is going to bring you all the way home to where you are today. And then today, this evening, it was explaining to me that's why to the men today in the tribe of Judah, it is very important for women to keep quiet. It is a reason why they want you to keep quiet. And I'm going to share those things with you. It's a reason behind them wanting in this day for women to make sure they keep quiet. There's a reason why they want you under their foot, under their feet, under their shoe. There's a reason why. So that you won't blurt out spirit and truth on the things that they are doing and how they are conducting themselves. What do you mean, Sister Deborah? It's in here telling you who they are and the things that they're going to be doing in the days in which you're right now living in. You don't know these things because women are the only one that will bring forth this. Men won't bring this message forth. They won't reveal what is in this instructions and directions that gives us an idea of where we're at today. You won't get the men to do that. I see a couple that they comes on to YouTube and they've been on here some time, and I see the wife speaking on topic the husband should be speaking on, and it blows my mind how a husband would allow his wife to speak on topics he should be speaking on. But what I was able to behold was because he is not in agreement with woman. He's in agreement with men. So therefore, he's not going to speak what his wife is pouring out on the platforms. He's not going to be there and he's not going to speak of them. It shows you that there is a big division between them. Because when you speak in spirit and truth and you speak in righteous, it is not male nor female. You get it? So when you see one not wanting to expound on the issues of the world, when you get men that's not correcting men or not calling them out in their error, in their teaching, and their way of life, and their way they conducting themselves in this day and time, that's because they're all in the same basket. So what? One has a wife, and both of you all on nationwide how would I say media, where both of you on here, but the husband speaks not the message in which the woman, the wife, is speaking. That's an error. That is a straight up wicked error. Why? Because the wife should not be on nationwide media talking about issues regarding men unless until if she has that husband, he should be there speaking on these things and she should be the backup. You see? Why? Because her coming out and saying things and no one, you know, addressing her regarding, now if she was by herself and she wasn't married, or maybe her husband passed away or whatever, I could see. But you got a husband and you speaking regarding the issues of what these men are doing, and your husband in the same house you are in. Somewhere something is wrong with that picture. There's a division there that has not been addressed, because the wife should not get on here and speak. It's like if I'm married, it should be my husband speaking these things in which I'm speaking of. You see? But if the husband is not speaking it, it's because he is not nowhere in agreement of what his wife is saying. He should be the one seeing these things that the men are speaking on and being able to cover them, and his wife should come in with him and they should discuss. But you never see his husband, the wife husband, coming in as strong as the wife by herself. It doesn't make any sense. That's where you see that something else. The picture is not, I put it like this: the picture of that family is not as pretty as it appeared to be, okay, or as they portray it to be. Okay, so I think that's where you see a division, spiritual. I mean, not just fleshly, but spiritual as well. Total different division, and something's going on. Someone is not about uh, 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 unity, even in their own home, especially when it come down to spirit and truth. Okay, so I'm coming from Second Timothy, and I'm going to show you, women out there and men, how divided it is between men and women today. How and why? The instructions and direction is such a blessing, because when the Ruach come to teach you these things, he'll say, now see, do you see how they said it here? When it's like this here, and let me add on to it. This. That's how the Ruach teaches you. And I'm going to show you how he gave it to me during this time I have been off. And like I say, it's good to be back. And I would like to say to you, shalom, everyone. Okay. And we're 2 Timothy, and we're going to chapter 3. And we're going to start with verse 1. I want you to understand, 2 Timothy is saying a whole bunch of things. But as a living prophet, and not a dead prophet. I'm living it, you guys. I'm here today, taught from the wilderness by the Ruach HaKodesh, and I'm seeing it in. He's giving me the gift to see, the gift to hear. I'm seeing this here. I'm beholding it for what it is in the natural, and I'm beholding it in the spirit. I see it both ways. So therefore, I can't just say I see this in the natural and I don't see it in the spirit. I see it in the spirit. But what's greater than me seeing it in the natural and in the spirit is he's shown it to me before the foundation of the world. This is what he has taught me. And that's why he said, Deborah, don't forget, I made a lane for you to run in. Run that race. That means bring out what I've already invested in you. I got you in this. But I'm not coming to make the crooked straight. I'm not going to do it. And I've already told you, it's finished, Deborah. It's over. And even when he taught me Deuteronomy 28, he say, now, you see Deuteronomy 28? You don't see not one tribe of Judah expounding or teaching the end game or teaching Deuteronomy in its righteous order, because they have no light, Deborah. They have no spirit and truth. And now he brings to me why. This here support what we're about to discuss and read. It support Deuteronomy 28. It makes sense why they got to be destroyed. It support Isaiah chapter 3 verse 25. It support all these things. It support Isaiah chapter 3, and I think it's verse 12. I think I'm gonna cover that. I wasn't planning on, but I'm thinking I'm gonna cover that, in how the women are now rulers, not or rulers now are over the children. And the children is off the chain because they're the bloodline of the father errors. And now look at what the women are left with. You see? And that's what she has to try to rule. And this is why you see the woman stressing out and going through, because she has to pick up the seeds of the children that was left by the wicked seeds of the men. It's deep, y'all. It is spiritual deep. Now listen to this. 2 Timothy Chapter 3. This is what, before he started giving me and teaching me this, he wanted me to understand. When I speak, Deborah, to woman, let me speak to woman. When I speak to men, let me speak to men. When I speak of children, let me speak to the children. When I speak to the Gentiles, let me speak to the Gentiles. When I speak to the heathens, let me speak to the heathens. When I speak to the tribes, let me speak to the tribes. When I speak to all kind, I speak unto them. What he's saying to me when he brought that to me is, we as women has this thing about uh uh taking on and grabbing onto words that Ahia is dedicating strictly to Adam, to men. We feel we got to take on and say, oh, he's not just talking to him, he's talking to me too. He's saying it to male and female. The Father wants you to know he knows to whom he is suffering things to be said unto them. He knows to whom he is speaking to. That's why it's so important to have the Ruach HaKodesh, because it will break that thing in you and out of you. Because a lot of women think that everything he's saying to in this book is for them. No, it is not. He knows to whom he is speaking to. And that's where he was bringing me to this. He was wanting me to understand, let me speak to the men here now. I'm not speaking to you, Deborah. I'm teaching you what is already instructions and directions and a study guide for you all to know what is coming in the days. Now listen to this. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Now he's speaking of a time period, okay? And it is in the last days perilous times shall come. Now, this is the sad part is about the last days is we know that we are in those days. And yes, we got other days to come, but we are in those last days, okay? And we still got days to come, but we're in what you call that day of the words that the prophets had spoke about in the last days, what Yeshua was speaking about in the last days, okay? And here you hear the apostles saying likewise, there's something going to be taking place, you guys, in the last days. And if you do not grip it, you're the one that's going to be really hurt, very hurt by not knowing what you are coming up against. Okay, now listen to what he says. Days, perilous times shall come. Verse 2. For men, it's not talking to you women. He says he's not talking to you. Stand down. And this is the reason why they don't want you to speak. This because they're afraid that you would get in here and speak spirit and truth, and you will shine the light on what they're doing today. So the best way to do it is find and root into the ground, get her submissive so she won't speak, get her to shut up, get her to not speak, get her to shut up and be submissive, and don't overextend herself above a man. All of that is trash. It is trash. It is trash. And this is what they don't understand. Let me give you a little something. When we get to glory, it's not going to be white and black. It's not going to be he and she. You see what I'm saying? When we get to glory, it's going to be us with Ahia. Okay? So the way he has orchestrated it down here is the way he has done it with that stretched out arm and that mighty right hand of his power. But what has happened is this is the world in which Satan come down to do what? To deceive the whole world. He said it, the whole world. The thing about deceiving the whole world was there were those who also came down who were assigned, appointed, and anointed to deceive the people. And this is what they're using to get by with you not really studying this thing and speaking on this. I would suggest any and every woman that have heard the calling on your life by the Most High to get busy speaking spirit and truth. Now listen to this. In verse 2, and men shall be lovers of their own self, of their own self, of their own self. When you are caught in your own self, that means you don't care about children, you don't care about mama, you don't care about daddy, you don't care about wife. Why? You stuck on your own self. See, this, believe this or not, y'all, this is really what you call good food for the strong spiritual hearts out there, because it lets you realize that, wait a minute. This sounds like how our men are the tribe of Judah is conducting themselves. This is sound like them. Wait a minute. You mean this is he? Yes. This is what he not taught me. This is what, yeah, I can say he taught me because he went over it with me to show me. See, you want me to come down there and make something crooked straight? And this is the type of stuff you think I'm going to get straight? No, I'm not coming. So don't come to my altar thinking that I'm going to get up and straighten out some things. I'm not, Deborah. Deuteronomy 28 told you until they destroyed. This is the reason, Deborah. These are the type of people that you women today are actually dealing with. He spoke to me something so powerful, women. I'm going to tell y'all what he told me that I had no idea. He said, Deborah, go into any book and see the way the men say that the women are doing. See if it has prophesied or have said that the women were going to do these things that they claiming the women are doing. It ain't going to show them. But he said, now let's get down, and get down. It's going to show you the men that you women are dealing with. It's going to show you the type of darkness that's out here and how pitch dark it is in the hearts of these men. Now look at here where it says in verse 2, and the men shall be lovers of their own self. Now they will make people think that women are out here not taking care of the children, getting an abortion, and not submitting to their husband, and trying to rule over their husband, and trying to control this and trying to control this. A woman running around trying to speak. Look what type of men these are in the last days. In this day, this is how the Father deals with me when he has to come and take me back to the wilderness and deal with me to show me exactly where you are at. So you will know I got to refresh you because you need it. You've been on the YouTube and you've been telling these people it's over, it's finished. What makes you think, Deborah, that I'm coming back down there to get these crooked hearts of these men of the tribe of Judah and make them straight? I'm not coming here to destroy them. Why? Because I got that already tagged. Read it, Deborah. My spirit has taught you I already got them numbered. So let's go. So when you see 2 Timothy chapter 3, then you see verse 2. And men shall be lovers of their own self, covetous, What is covetousness? Covetous. Is that right? Coveter, no. Covetous. Okay, let's read. What is that? Having or showing a strong desire to uh, no, possess something belonging to someone else. That's what covetous, especially material possessions. Okay, that's covetousness. It's a form of greedy, worldly gain. That's covetousness. That is what you see today in the men today. When he said the number one was going to be what? Women. The Father is telling you this and you won't listen. He says they're going to be lovers of their own self. They're not going to be lovers to their wives. They're not going to be lovers to their mothers and their fathers. They're not going to be lovers of their children. They're going to be lovers of their own self. Highlight that. Verse 2, men shall be lovers of their own self. Of their own self. Now, I have to go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. And this is what you all women never knew and still are not going to know because you've been out there for so long not knowing it and you have believed a lie, so you fall under the deceived one, meaning you're going to continue to be deceived, okay? Because there are deceivers out there that's out there just to deceive you. So you would never see light. You would never understand spirit and truth. Okay. So when you get to the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 16, hear this. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Now, we know as a woman, as women, those that have had children, that is real. That is real. That is real. That's 100, right? Okay. Let's continue. And thy desire shall. Look at the word desire. Circle it and highlight it. Shall. And if you see shall, if your book shows that the word SLSHALL slanted, it's the power trying to get you to really focus on that. And focus on what? The desire shall be to thy husband. The Father wants you to see that he had planted something in women to have a desire to be a certain way to their husbands. And today, the men of today don't know nothing about that. Because like I said, they really didn't get it. Because they never walked in spirit and truth, you guys. They never saw the light, nor do the light see them. They've been teaching, preaching, bishops, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teacher, watchmen, seers, Maureen, and whatever you want to call them, whatever they want to call themselves. They never knew that there was a secret in a woman. There was a secret in a woman. They never knew that. It was a desire that the Father put in a woman, that she should desire her husband. And what does that desire mean? To please her husband, long for her husband, support her husband. You see, they didn't know that, you guys, even to today. It was something he put in them. You see what I'm saying? He put that in them. So why are you having this regarding your husband? Because some women would say, I've been beaten ever since I've been married 20 years. My husband has beaten me. He has raped my son and raped my daughter. Y'all don't really get it. Y'all are a long way from home. That's why you don't get behind these men. And I'm not talking about the women who has husbands and fiancés that they about to marry. Learn who you getting involved with. Know enough about them. And even when you know, then you still don't know, because I'm still learning about the man that I married for 32 years. So don't come here with it. And then when the father revealed it to me, the type of person he was and who he was, he said to me, and this is where I'm going to be judged. This is where I'm going to be judged. He said, now that I've shown you his nakedness, you can't use it against him. See, he didn't want me to use what he revealed to me regarding my ex-husband. And if I were, he didn't want me to use it against him, because he's shown me my husband's, my ex-husband's nakedness. That means who this person really is. Okay. Now, here in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16, he said, and thy desire, and you see the slanted, he's showing you the power therein, shall be to thy husband. That means you're going to have the desire to please your husband, to want and long for him, and desire to do things to please him, and to pleasure him. This here is what women have made up in them. But the men don't know that it's there, nor do they care that it's there. Why you say that? Let's go back. And then he said here, one more thing I had to give you, in verse 16, and he shall rule over thee. The father showed me the rule over is what's out of order. That's the part that Satan got with men of the flesh and allow their heads to be overweighted, not boast, but muscled up with this idea of ruling over. And they don't understand rule over thee does not mean she's your slave and she is to be up under your feet and be used as property, like they did sold their daughters off back in Genesis chapter 6, and no one ever connected the pieces together. Even to today, the women can't connect that the men were sex trafficking their daughters. You have to think, why would a creator build something and destroy it a little time afterwards? Think now, it has to be more than what man has taught you all, because you don't want to know the spirit and truth of the matter. You want to know the way man said that it is. You have to think, when he said rule over thee, they took that out of order, even to today. And they looked at it because it said that, when that means we rule the way we want to rule. We rule it this way and this way. And that's why the heathens are dogging your tail out and taking your life today. See, everything is always the way your flesh say that it is. But it's not because your flesh say that it's this way and it's the righteous way. Doesn't mean that the Father orchestrated it to be under that type of rule. And this is why women had to be kept silent all these years, because these type of men today, it's what's leading the world into its wickedness, even the tribe of Judah. That's why it's so wicked and loaded with sin and darkness, because like the Father say, if I'm talking to these men, you women stand down and let me talk to them. And what he's saying is, I left you all word so that you all would know through other men. Now, these are not women speaking this. Through other men, I'm going to leave you the type of men that information regarding the type of men you all have been dealing with. But what we do, we turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. We still desire the pleasures of pleasing a man to the point where whatever he does in the household, it doesn't matter. I can get, let's say if I were to collect, and I'm really thinking about doing this, 100 men of all ages. And I want them to come together and I want to talk to them about what happened in their household. Okay. I wish I can get the 100 men that I've spoke to. I really wish I could collect all of them so they can pretty much tell you if a house was broken and destructive, it was always the father. It was always the father. It was always the father that was a rolling stone. They didn't see their father 2 and 3 weeks, and when they did, he come home, he sleep, and then go back out another week, stay home, go back out another week. It was men never owned up to what was righteous in the eyes of Yah as a father. We as women, we put too much uh, um, praise and glory in them in a way that causes them to be the way that they are today. See, they figured they didn't have to answer to us. They can rape our daughters and their own sons. And this is where you see all these homosexual stuff going on. That's why I don't get involved in a lot of this stuff about gays and all of that. Because through the Ruach HaKodesh in the wilderness, I saw where it come from. Okay, I've seen where it come from, and the picture is not what you all think it is, women. And a lot of the grandmothers and the mothers of yesterday, the foremothers, knows about it, and they kept quiet then. That's why you see where you see gays today. This is why a lot of them have been tampered with and by males in the household. And these men that I said I wish I can get them, is because they're old. Most of them are older than I am, but you can hear the stories of how grandpa and great grandpa and daddy and daddy's friend and daddy's brothers and daddy's cousin, all of these were men, were tampering with sister and were tampering with brother and was tampering with me since I was 3, all the way up until I was 10, all the way up to 3, all the way up until I was 15. Y'all got to hear the stories. And this is what you see today. And don't think for 1 minute. Do not think for 1 minute that, oh, we got a lot of good men around here. Good men stands on top of these rotten men. So the good men is not out here if they're not standing up against what the rotten men of the tribe of Judah are doing and saying. So where's your good men? Even a higher saw fit that things can be spoken of these men, and this is still what he will say today. Where's your good man? Where's your good men? That's us wanting them to be something that they cannot be. Home is not broken because a woman put a man out. Home was broken because the man didn't know how to be a man, because his daddy wasn't there to be a man to show him responsibility, and his daddy wasn't there. See, they don't understand. A home can't be broken because of a woman. A home can only be broken because of a man. A man don't understand that every last one of those children that you spill, a woman incubated and birthed it, bring it forth, and take care of it for the rest of its life while you go out, and therefore she still have parts of you, raising you all over again. And then when she raised him and send him to college and do the things she's trying to figure out, well, how did he end up getting locked up and going to jail for this and dropping out of college doing it? Because she didn't understand. The women don't understand. You are bringing up the forefathers of these children all over again. Monsters. Because you have not owned up to the fact that, wait a minute, let me see what's going on here. Something wrong with this. No. And this is what causes women to react the way that they're reacting. Because don't forget what Ahia put in you. He said he put that desire in you so that you would desire your husband. That means to please your husband. So all this mess they talking about how women is and women that, y'all say that's a lie from the pin of hell. What it is called tired. He said that's what it is. I said, but Father, you're saying tired, but guess what? Throughout my life, when I've spoken to Caucasians and even some black people, people would always think that black people are prejudiced. No, they're tired. That's what it is. They're not prejudiced. They're not racist. They are tired. And that's what is going on with the women. They didn't raise these men children through generation, they can't get no praise from their husband. They can't get nothing but what you're seeing today. That's what was always in the house. Y'all try to make it like it ain't. Today is a product of yesterday that was hidden. Woo! What did you just say? The Father said, today is a product of yesterday that was hidden, that was in the dark, that shall come to the light in the last days. How you like them now? So a lot of times we're still yet trying to cover them up. But let's hear in Timothy the truth of the matter. In these last days, these men have gotten this rotten. Now, I showed you where Ahiah had put something in the woman. That's why he beats you. You stay with him. He goes and sleep with other women. You stay with him. He don't bring food and money to take care of the kids, and you still there to fix him a meal and let him in whenever he want to. He don't spend time with the children, and it's okay with you. He don't take the children anywhere, and it's okay with you. He come in drunk and beat on you, and it's okay with you. He likes to be on the game all day and night and not go to work, and it's okay with you. There's a desire the Father wants me to tell you women. You all need to go back to the beginning and understand. Yah put something in you to always put a great amount of energy trying to be the best that you can to your husband. And right today, all that they saying about y'all, Ahiah say, take them back to Genesis and see what I implanted into you all. The spirit of desire is in you. So you can't be what they say you are, because it's something I put in you to be there for them in spite of the things that they have done. And that is a product of what was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. Let's go. Here we are, coming to the light to something else. Verse 2, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. And men shall be lovers of their own self. Get it. Get it. Their own self. Not you, women. Not your children. They loving themselves. And that's why it's so important for them to belittle you, to put you under their feet. The Father's letting you know this thing is real. Their mindset. Their hearts are wicked toward you women. There's a reason. Here it is. Okay? And he says, covetous, boasters. What is boasters? Boosters or boasters? What is boasters? What are you saying here, Father? What is this saying in here in 2 Timothy chapter 3? It's saying, Deborah, they're going to always be bragging. You got pastors and bishops and apostles and Maureen, seers and watchmen. They forever bragging on who they are, what they got, what they doing, how they preaching, how they teaching. And all of those are people that's not of the heart of Yah. I told you all over and over, this is the flesh of man that's giving y'all wisdom. The flesh of man that's giving you knowledge. The flesh of man that's giving you understanding and his personal opinion. And in it all, you notice one thing that they caught up in: emotions and feelings. Off the chain. But they have the nerve to talk about the gay men. Wait a minute. You got more feelings and emotions caught up in your masculine mindset than the gay men that's trying to put on a dress. Okay, now what did he say? Boasters. He said they're going to be boasters, and it's saying they're going to be boasters, and that means they're going to be bragging, especially in a way that is, let me get it right, exaggerating, or showing excess pride about boasting, skills, possessions, or accomplishments. These are people who put all themselves and what they got and what they done and what else, their accomplishment and their skills and their abilities all on pedestals. This is what the Father is showing you. He wanting us to know. He's giving us the help. No, he ain't coming here to make them straight. They crooked, they crooked. Because they came down here crooked as what? Deceivers. Wicked and evil. Just as Adam and Eve did. They skipped all the trees and went straight to where they were heading. Where they were missioned. In case y'all didn't know that. Yes. Okay. So here it is, this bragging, it means especially in a way that is exaggerating or showing excess pride about boasters, skills, possessions for or accomplishments. Always, oh, we got this, I got this, we doing this, we have this. Those are people, this here 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 through 9 is speaking of these type of rotten evil men. And if you don't see that in this world today, that's because you've been not just blind today, you was blind yesterday. And they try to get women to speak on their behalf to down other women. Those are the silly women, laden with sin. They don't even know what righteous is. They don't know what just is because they don't know nothing. You see, those are the silly women that support them. Let's go and you will see. Okay? And here it is. They're boasters. And then here, proud. Proud. They proud. And what is proud? Feeling deep pleasure of satisfaction as a result of one's own achievement, qualities, or possessions of those things. Let me explain to what that's saying. That's just like boasters. You notice all of this is about flesh. And see, y'all didn't get it, do you? All of this is about flesh. This about them working all the works in their flesh and giving their flesh credit, giving their flesh praise, giving their flesh honor, giving their flesh worship. You see? They can't be about a higher, even though they're on this devil platform portraying it. People like that, a higher will allow many deceive to follow, to like, to subscribe to those type of people. Why? Because he said, Deborah, if I know that there are so many that been brought to the earth, that has been brought down to the earth just to be a deceiver, to be deceivers. Don't they need somebody, Deborah, to deceive? I said, Father, if that's not, that is straight up from the floor up, 100. The deceivers need people to deceive. So it makes a lot of sense. And they are boasters. They're proud. Here it is. Feeling deep pleasure or satisfaction as a result of one's own achievement, own qualities, or possessions. Always bragging. That is not of Yah. None of it is. There are so many women that have not studied up under the Ruach to be able to come and speak toward these men. And then when you get a woman that might have a little wisdom, they over there trying to pretend that they got the power to tell you who you are instead of doing what you're called to do. It's not, and they don't have the sense to how would you say it? Teach spirit and truth, or teach, bring light to the darkness. They just so busy being what they call themselves a judge, you know. And it's a sad thing because we in the midnight hour, y'all. We in that last hour running up on the minutes, and it is no time to draw weight to yourself. To get praise, to say that you here, let me put you up so high. And these people out here are looking for that. They are desiring that. That's why they can't step into no one in spirit and truth. They got to go, he say, she say, he say, she say. Like that the Father sent them down as Yeshua himself. It's a sad thing. So here we go, and it says, and not only boasters, proud, and blasphemers, 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 a act of great disrespect shown to Yah. A great disrespect shown to Yah. Blasphemers. Do you know femurs? Do you know, you guys, they don't give a rat's behind? They don't care if they disrespecting Yah. What did I tell y'all about Deuteronomy 28? That's total disrespect. What about Ezekiel 36? He was telling Ezekiel how they were over in Israel and how they profane his name and disrespect him. I'm telling you, Israel and the tribe of Judah don't have no respect for the Most High. But the only thing they say is that we are worthy to come into that New Jerusalem. That's what they think. Oh, we worthy to come into that New Jerusalem. Take us over there to the promised land. We worthy to enter into the New Jerusalem just because they heard names of the 12 tribes. They do not understand. That's not saying that's you. What make people think they're going to be able to conduct themselves with such a level of midnight darkness, and that Ahia going to swoop them out here in such bright light in heaven? How is it he going to take you and put you in that situation? You done live midnight dark time, and you going to come out of midnight dark, and you got a seat in eternal heaven. Come on now, y'all. I'm telling you, you don't have it, y'all. You don't have what you think. Okay, and then it says, what else? Disobedient. That's that stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient. We can add that in there too. But listen to what it's saying. It's not saying disobedience, rebellion, and stiff-neck. It's saying that these men, they are like this with their parents. I told y'all in several videos that the Father said they'll have a hammer up to your head telling you to keep the commandments and the laws. And he said they ain't kept not one, especially the one to honor your mother and father. He said these men has never honored their mother nor their father. And they're really thinking, as long as we keep these women's mouths closed, ain't nobody gonna know. Once we keep them under our feet, we don't need to worry about nothing else. That's why they want their nation women shutting up, because you'll bring forth the things that's really in here. What they're bringing forth is things in here out of the mouth of man, to the point where it's saying that it's saying their own personal opinion and not saying what God said the Most Higher. How are you going to know what Sister Deborah said in 2 Timothy in chapter 3? Because it's going to bounce right back. We're going to bounce right back into it in Romans chapter 1. It's telling us, it's warning us. Who is it warning? Who is this here, these verses warning about men? Who? Think, women. Who is he warning when he's telling you this? Lovers of themselves. Who is he warning? You, like I said, if you got a husband and a wife in the house and call themselves holy than thou, and they on these devil platform from years trying to teach, and you notice that the husband never speak on levels against what these men are doing, but the wife has already got her loud mouth on there having something to say, that's bent. That's off balance. That is off balance. Why? Whatever she said, I'm quite sure she can see it in the flesh. But in the spirit realm, she should see that her husband is like unto them, because he's not speaking on the level of these things. And if he's not on nationwide television confronting the errors of these men, he's no worse. He's worse than they are. And you're going to see that in Romans. Those who condone it. When you don't speak against it, then you are for it. They didn't know they did. The men don't know it. See, the Father, because they thinking they like the ideal of that power. You see, that same power and strength that they use to have that perpetual hate for their black women, and that hate is so high level. But where's the hate for the white man who got their yoke around your neck and the heathens? Where's the hate and the reaction toward them? They ain't got a word to say. Y'all notice that? Y'all don't notice that, do you? These what you call men without balls. They ain't got, they can tackle any and every weak spot. But they ain't going to tackle those who got a yoke around their neck. They ain't going to tackle them. They ain't going to step out of bounds with them. They'll kill their mama. They'll kill their daddy. Tribe of Judah kill his mama, his daddy, his brother. He'll kill his wives, his children, and kill himself before he come after the one who got the yoke around his neck. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? See, this is why I say to you all alone, you're lost. And you need to be lost because you never thought to go before the Father and seek him first, his kingdom first. Now it's over. Okay? See, this is what these men want to be buffing up on these women, talking negative. All the house is messed up because of the women. You know why? Because it's nothing in this book telling them that. And silly women, a lot of with sin, would take their side on something as low. And then you got women on here, got husbands in the house, won't speak negative, won't speak positive, no, won't speak spirit and truth because they don't have no spirit and truth in them. So why is the wife on nationwide television talking about what men doing? Where's your husband in this? You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no business talking unless he's right there. Why? You can talk like Sister Deborah, but if you by yourself. If you've been called, appointed, and anointed, you got a husband sitting in your house with you, and you sitting on nationwide television bringing up what men are doing, and no reason, not at all. You're 100%. They can be 100% on it. It doesn't matter when that same issue you speaking about is in your household because it's not speaking on anything righteous regarding what's going on. That's a dangerous place to be in life. That's a dangerous place to be, is to have a different mindset and seeing things in the world. But yet you got a husband over here that buckles up from away from it or addressing any of it. That's a bad place to be. I wouldn't want a man in no house with me that can't confront the things that not only I'm seeing. If I'm seeing it and I'm sharing it with him, it shows that he's not on agreement with me. Why? Because he's not expounding on what these men are saying and doing. So he putting you out there, letting you go out on your own to show the world. I ain't going out there with her. That's her thing. I don't feel like she feel. That's sad, y'all. That's real sad. And they get on this devil platform trying to rack up subscribers and and they really need to get their tail somewhere and sit down. To be honest, both of them. And anyone that's a wife, a husband, any woman that gets on this devil platform and has a husband in the house and he ain't speaking on the same level or the balance with you, you and him need to get off this devil platform teaching. Okay? So it's continue to say it, disobedient to parents. That's the commandments. So these men are not following the commandments. These men that in this last days, in these perilous times, y'all, you can sit under their authority, their rulership, their submissive will. You can sit under anything you want of these men. When you finish, they are hell-bound men. They are bound to hell. And I'm going to not only cover it in 2 Timothy, I'm going to cover it in Romans chapter 1, verse 16 on down. So you all can make them whatever you want to make them. And the Father don't have no problem. He just wants you to know I'm not coming to make them crooked things straight. Okay? So if you want to continue to sit in it and give it pleasure and honor and put them on pedestal, you do just what you want to do. Okay? Now he's saying, what is the next one? And he said in verse, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. I'm telling y'all, these are not men of Yah. These are not men of Yah. But the prophetess, Sister Deborah, have seen them on all these videos here on YouTube, called themselves worshiping the Most High Ahia. With all these things that's right here in them that I see and behold and discern. So because so many people follow them, that gives them the impression that they're holier than thou. I'm the righteous one. I'm the one with the light. Here goes Sister Deborah, the one that the Father say, if it was so, it would fool the very elect. She can't be fooled, y'all. Not this one here. This one's mine. She can't be fooled. Okay? So when it says disobedient to parents, that kicked the what? The commandments out. These are not people who follow no commandment. Oh, they can beat you across your head. But the truth be told, if the father had to line each one of these men up, say, go find your mother and your father, they probably wouldn't even tell you where they are. When last time you see them, they probably tell you 100 years. When last time you honor them, I don't know. I don't have nothing to do with them. How long that been? 100 years. That's showing you that these are the men that you're dealing with. When did he say? In the last days. So while y'all trying to put crowns on their head, tell them they kings, leaders, and rulers, you're embedding in that darkness. And that's why good is not on them. That's why the judgment is so heavy on them from the Most High. And a lot of them thinking they going somewhere. And Deuteronomy didn't tell you was going to build you a heaven on earth. Deuteronomy didn't tell you you was gonna have this, cause you are stealing from people, deceiving people. See, a person that's a deceiver, they are really, to me, they don't look good. They're not good. Because I can discern them. But I guess to others, they all that and some. But they are excellent deceivers. That's their mission. How you're going to allow them to have the tools to use to deceive the deceived. To just be a deceiver to the deceived. That's how you rumble. He'll allow this. And while the deceiver thinking it is deceiving many in great number, you being deceived while deceiving. And don't know it. Because they're thinking that how you're going to let them run on in. You better check yourself on Deuteronomy. Not Deuteronomy, on 2 Timothy chapter 3. Let's continue. And he said, disobedient to parents, so that knocks the commandments out. Unthankful and unholy. That means you ain't nowhere near the Ruach HaKodesh. You are nowhere near the Ruach HaKodesh. And this is what Sister Deborah was telling you. These men that are like this, they don't have the Ruach. They don't have the Ruach. Yeah, they're fool people that they can do this and they can do that. Satan can wake the dead. I'm serious. Satan can do things to make a person think that they are doing something and healing somebody. Look at the beast. The one that's gonna get shot and go get up and he's gonna be healed. And everybody gonna think he a God. Wait a minute, where do you think that time gonna be? When do you think that is? So I'm just trying to show you all where we are at today, because 2 Timothy chapter 3 is explaining it all to you. Know these things, y'all. Now watch this here. In verse 3, without natural affection. Now, without, these men are not going to have any affection for you women. So you can go and get your boobs done. You can get your butt out. You can put your weave all the way down to the floor. You can dress any way you want it. He ain't gonna have no affection for you. You can have your head wrapped. You can have your fringes on. You can have your dress hitting the ground. You can do whatever you want. They don't have any affection toward you. The Father is not going to allow these apostles to speak these things to the point where it's not benefiting them. Do y'all get it? It's warning you. That's beautiful. It's not benefiting them. It's warning you. Because you're going to be in the last days having to deal with this and see this. This is why greater is he that is in us than he that's in the world. We need him. We can't do without him. Sister Deborah ain't going to be able to do without him. I need him. Father, I need you. I can't do without you. I can't think without you. I can't feel without you. I can't eat without you. I can't sleep without you. I can't wake up without you. I can't repent without you. It's nothing I can do without you, the Most High. I'm nothing without you. I need you. While we're running around here thinking we need the world and the things of the world. And that's what these men represent. They are deceivers. Okay. Now, verse 3, it says natural affection. While these women trying to get butt reduced, boobs, back ends, and everything they possibly can to get these men to turn to them, return to them what they have given them. They ain't going to. They will go toward a man before they go to a woman. And that's another thing the Father was revealing to me. He was saying that when you see them putting women on one side and men on the other side, put men in the front and women in the back, the devils are waiting for those that are the like. The devil like the men to be together like that, because this is how homosexual steps in. Always did. So you see the type of men that's leading the multitude. They think even Geno Jennings or whatever, even his nutball case. You can put the woman on one side and the men on the other. What sense does that make? He said he is one, she is one. There are two, one. So why do you got husbands sitting on one side, wives sitting on the other side, making their own religion, their own ways, their own way of doing things? Why? Because men that does stuff like that, sometimes you got to wonder about them. You really do. Because if the truth be told, let me tell y'all, a lot of them will talk about homosexual, but there's a lot of them in their camp. It's a lot of them in their sanctuary. So when you put men over on that side, let me tell you something. Somebody like Sister Deborah, shoot that camera over there on that side. I bet you I can tell you every one of them that's gay. And married to the women on that side, but still messing with men on that side. I'm telling y'all, the Bible speaks of in the end days, it's going to be like the days of Noah. It says it's going to be like the days of Noah. It's going to be like the days of Noah. But then when I saw it said, and it's going to be like the days of Lot. I'm like, hold up. What's going to be going on in the world during this time that's like Lot? He said they're going to be buying, selling, planting, okay, and building. Marrying and giving in marriage, all of that, the same thing it was going to be like in the days of Noah. It said it's going to be like that in the days of Lot, in the last days, in the days we're in. Why that? The homosexual level. It's the homosexual level. And then as I get into Isaiah chapter, let me do that right quick, just to show you how we as women, it's a mission for them to keep us quiet. Because they know we'll get in here and we'll bring out spirit and truth. And they don't want us to do that. In Isaiah chapter 3 and listen to this, in verse 9. In Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 9, the show of their countenance doeth witness against them, and they declare sin as Sodom, and hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Who was he talking about? Verse 8, if you bump it to 8, for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah has fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Ahiah to provoke the eyes of his glory. He's talking to men. The whole chapter 3 of Isaiah, he's speaking to men. See, we want to, women, it's about spirit and truth. All this other monkey stuff y'all talking about, y'all need to get some more women that if you don't have spirit and truth, you don't have the light, you need to sit your tail down real tight. I mean real tight. Buckle up, put a belt around your waist, and sit your tail tight to a seat somewhere. Because this thing is real. Okay? Now here he says natural affection. That's telling the women, it ain't nothing you can hear, look, lust, and go on his way. He will look at a man before he look at you. I've seen it, y'all. I've seen it. I can discern it. These men get on these devil platforms, and I don't do it on purpose, y'all. I get up there and I said, Father, I can see it. He said, yeah, you're going to see it. I gave you the spiritual gift to see it. And they be on here talking about Yahuwah, Christ, and the Most High Ahiah, and speaking. Sit down. Clowns, I can see you. See, the world can't see you, but Ahiah's servants can. The one he has appointed and anointed. So what happens? Truth breakers. Now, what is a truth breaker, you all? Can't be trusted with private words of others. Violates trust, covenant, and engagement. They violate trust, covenant, and engagement. And they have a way of taking private information and private conversation, and you can't trust them with it. They'll tell you, if a woman come to a pastor and tell him private information, he's going to be up on the pulpit talking about it. Or he's going to go back to the other brothers talking about it. Those are sick men, you all, that these women are serving and up under. Let's continue. And what does it say in verse uh, uh, false accusers? False accusers. What is false accusers? We know who they are. False accusers. That's because they such deceivers. They can't bear someone accusing them. And they will falsely say someone accusing them of something because they are deceivers. And they should be accused. Someone should accuse them for much, but they can't handle it. So they will false accuse people and try to get as many on their side to help in on the false accuser, so against others, so that they can feel just. That's a false accuser. And what else? Incontent. Is that right? Let me see if I'm pronouncing it right. Incontinent. Now, what does that mean? Uncontrolled. Self-restrained. They can't even control themselves. That's what I was explaining to you. These loudmouth men getting up there talking with their loud mouth, can't even control themselves. They have no self-restraint. That's what this is saying. That's what that means, you guys. So take these words and look them up yourself, and it'll blow your mind. And you say, this is how these men act today. And we sitting around here giving them the praise, saying we got some good men. Yes, we do. If they are in or higher, and if they are good, they will be the one on these devil platform taking these men out that are not. This message Sister Deborah's teaching, I shouldn't have to if you're supposed to be a leader and king and a ruler. And you're supposed to be spirit and truth. You're supposed to be the light. You're supposed to shine bright based on what? Your teaching and how you serve y'all. These men won't get up and teach nothing because they don't want. Many of them are not who y'all think they are, you guys. I've sat back and beholding these men connecting with these other men with the hate, the perpetual hate on women, trying to blame women because of where they at today. Because of the thing. See, what happens is it has so much stuff went on in men's lives till they don't have no one else to blame. But it does them just in their flesh. If we could just blame someone, then it'll get us off of ourselves. It'll make us understand that it ain't us. It never been us. It's been them all the time. That's the mindset of the deceivers. That's the mindset of the men today. Because look at how it's talking about the men in Deuteronomy, in 2 Timothy chapter 3. Listen to it telling you in the end days, this is how these men going to be conducting themselves. But then they'll turn around and get dog their women in their own nation out. But then the one that got the yoke around their neck, they ain't doing nothing but licking their feet. They got the woman under their feet and licking the Gentiles and the heathen feet at the same time. Okay, now it says false accusers. Fierce. Now what is that? Fierce. What do that mean? Let's see. Having or displaying an intense or fierce aggressiveness. Being aggressive. You can tell there's something wrong with men that speaks the way that they speak, and it doesn't show any humbleness, nor no meekness, no lowness. Why? Because they got fierce in them. Fierce. Having or displaying an intense or fierce aggressiveness. Eager to fight or to kill. That is known in the tribe of Judah. That is known. See, y'all want to make a higher a lie for sending you messages and information that's going to help you in these evil days to let you know where everything stands. So while you sitting here worried about the Gentiles and the heathen, you better be worried about those men that's in your nation that's killing up each other and killing their women at the same time and their children. And nobody seems to see what is before them, and they don't see the judgment is so high, he's allowing them to now kill by great numbers. And guess what they did? The tribe of Judah then took a lot of rat traps. You know how you take a rat trap and you put it in a certain place, you know you've seen a rat. Well, what the tribe of Judah has done is they have put rat traps out, and all it's going to do is trap them. They going to get trapped in it because the same heathens that they're running out while they sitting here doing that, the judgment of the Father is now allowing them to go into the other races and take them and take their lives for no reason at all. Just like they taking their women's and their moms and their daughters. They doing the same thing. They taking their brothers out. Now they're going over into the heathens and doing likewise. Why? Because the war got to get started. See, the war got to get started. It's got to go down like Deuteronomy 28 in game and Isaiah 3 and 25. It has to happen. Whether we like it or we know it or we want it or not, it's going to get heated. And the tribe of Judah is setting rat traps for their own selves. They're setting their own rat trap while they're sending them out to go take out lives of their daughters, of the daughters of Zion. You sit here feeding that negative to these minds of these men, and you've been wrong from the beginning. But since you did that, guess what? Ahia is going to let the rat trap that you setting for your daughters of Zion to make the world think that we are the bad women of the world and you are the good men. So you're going to get trapped. You're going to go straight into the rat trap yourself, the one you set, because now the tribe of Judah is now killing white people for no reason at all. And nobody's saying a word. That's going to start the racial war. And don't think they ain't coming to your field. Don't think they ain't going to burn your tail out. Okay? Now, verse 3. We still with accusers, despisers. What is despisers? Those that despisers. To look down on with disrespect. To look down on with disrespect. That's sad. That's what despiser. Look down on with disrespect. Okay? Heady. That's a very powerful word. Heady. Having a great, let me see if they're right. Having a great power, influence, or effect. Heady. They having great power, influence on or effects. Symbolize authority. That's about right. See, the Father has explained to me, Deborah, there's a whole bunch of deceivers that came down. And when they came down, Deborah, they needed those to deceive. They are deceivers, but they need those they can deceive. So the deceivers is what you're seeing on YouTube. They're deceiving the mass of the tribe of Judah. They're deceiving them. So the deceivers are those that's on here trying to deceive everybody that they are holier than thou. They're on a higher side. They on Yahuwah side. They the Most High's elect. They're deceiving the those that's going to be deceived. And Ahia, he said, it's all well. It's all well. And it says here, so he said, it says, and heady. Let me see where I'm at. Despisers and those that of those who do good, that are good. That's verse 3. Traitors. There are traitors. There are traitors. Yes, they betray their own mama and their daddy at the same time. Most of them ain't never had a daddy in their life, And those that did have them, they didn't have no respect for them to really have nothing to do with them. Okay, heady. There go heady. Heady is having a great power, affluence, or effect. That's that power. And don't think now, yeah. Don't think because you see a lot of subscribers and a lot of likes, or you see a lot of people commenting, oh, you teaching good. That's true. That's true. No, no, no. Those are the ones that sat there for them to deceive. Those people are set there as being deceived by the deceiver. You see what I'm saying? So they're set there. They're planted there. That's why no matter what these men are saying, they agree with them because they are set there to be deceived by the deceiver. Okay? So heady mean is that's what that's one thing they're out trying to gain. Men are trying to gain in the tribe of Judah power, authority, headship, leadership, a king, ruler. But how can you do any of that in the land of your captivity? You ruling and trying to be a king and a leader in the land of your captive. They got you with a yoke around your neck. They got you with their foot on your neck. But yet you trying to appear on all these platforms as if you holier than thou, and you got it going on, and the reality of it in spirit and truth, you got a yoke around your neck. You just deceiving the people, and you getting deceived as well. While being by deceiving, you're being deceived yourself. Okay, so that's another word, and it's another what else? I didn't even cover false accuser. Yes, I did. High-minded, that's another one. High-minded, having or showing in intelligence, ignorance, and strong moral self-conceit characteristic. I can agree with that. High-minded, having a strong intelligent ignorance and a strong moral self-conceit character. I can believe that. I can believe that because that describes him to me too. It's just something about what he was showing me. It made me have so much comfort in his comforter because I said, Father, this is it. That's them. That's what they doing, Father. He said, that's why I gave it to you, Deborah. That's why I gave it to you because I knew that's what they doing. I know that's what they doing. And then I began to continue to read. And lovers of pleasure, and women run around here thinking they loving them. Oh, getting these extra wives and wives. You thinking they loving you. What is he saying right here? They don't give a rat's behind. They lovers of themselves, their own self. In Genesis, in 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 4, the men shall be lovers of their own self. And what else does it say is regarding them connected to themselves? Pleasures more than lovers of Yah. They love pleasure more than lovers of Yah. This is what it's trying to explain to you all. It says in verse 4, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yah. They showing you right then and there. Yah is not in the midst of them. Everything that these men are doing in these last days, a higher, it's not with them nor in the midst of them. Okay? They like the pleasure of having many wives. It ain't got nothing to do with the connection of a relationship with Yah. They uses that to deceive you all. But the truth be told, they're lovers of pleasure more than they are, and that was in what's verse 4, more than lovers of Yah. He's telling you what the men are, y'all. You can step out here and make them whatever you want. Verse 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power therein. They don't know nothing about Christ as Hamashiach, as us in Genesis 1 and 26. They don't know nothing about the power. They don't know nothing about the power because it doesn't reign around them, nor is it with them. So how could they be saved, or how could they have the Holy Spirit? How could they have any of that? And they have denied the power. Denying the power, you can't have the power while you denying the power. Does that make any sense? You can. It's impossible. And it's telling you these men don't have the power. And you giving them power out of your flesh to make them think that they are powerful, and they powerless. Okay. Now it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Such turn away. See, they want to have this form on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all these others. Oh, we holy than thou. We people of the most high, higher. We love Yahuwah, Yeshua Hamashiach, and the Ruach Hakodesh. They want to say all that there to you, but guess what? That's just a form they portraying in front of y'all. It's a form of godliness, but denying the power. That means Christ is not there, y'all. So what happens during this time they doing this? Watch this here. Verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into the houses and lead captive. They captive. They leading them captives. Silly women, laddered with sins, led away with diverse lust. Verse 7. Even learning, ever learning, and never coming to the knowledge of truth. They won't get to that spirit and truth, y'all. So when Sister Deborah is saying to you all, they don't know spirit and truth, they don't. They'll never reach that level. They just here to deceive. It makes a lot of sense. It's like he's saying that I can't come down there and change that. Their whole mission, Deborah, is to deceive. Let them stay in their lane. Let them stay in their lane. They know what they're here to do. And they've been given many to deceive. That's why the narrow gate is narrow and the broad gate is broad. And hell has enlarged in themselves. They got everything they need, so let them run their race. Okay. So and it says again in 4 and 6, for as this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captives silly women, laddered with sin, led away with diverse lusts. Verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. They gonna never reach truth, y'all. So you know how Sister Deborah said they don't have spirit and truth because they ain't gonna reach it. They'll never reach that goal. And if you read Deuteronomy 28, the end game is set up just like that. They're just going to be destroyed. See, it's a reason. It's showing you. Here we are in Timothy. Deuteronomy was in Torah. It's telling you in Torah what they're going to do in the last days, okay, in Deuteronomy 28. So it makes sense why Deuteronomy 28 is saying that they're going to be destroyed. Because see, while we putting these men on pedestals, y'all already put them in their place. You get it? We sitting here trying to make them kings, queens, and kings, leaders, and rulers, and y'all say they're going to be destroyed. They are crushed. And even when they think they're getting something, ever learning means those are people who constantly learning, finding books, trying to make you master Torah, master Hebrew, master Greek. You got to say it like this. You got to say they ever learning, but never coming to the truth of real knowledge, which is spirit and truth. They won't ever reach that destiny. And that's beautiful for me. That is beautiful for me. Okay, now it's time to go to Romans. Romans chapter 1. But before we go to Romans, I have to take you, he wants me to take you to where you know that deceivers are on the earth. The deceivers already been here, but it's a great number of them. You remember when Kanye and Kyrie, I think that's his name, and they had came out, and all of a sudden all the Hebrew Israelite men went chasing them. Woo, they did. They setting it up for us. They telling them the truth, or they doing this, or they doing this. God didn't send them here for us to open up some doors. And you see, our men. Let me correct that. The tribe of Judah went rushing out to meet them out in the field. Met them. It's not a man out of the tribe of Judah did not detach themselves to Kanye and Kyrie. And they didn't even have to come in sheep clothing. And even though they were wolves, they didn't even have to come in sheep clothing. That's showing you the weak level of where the man mindset, our men mindset is today. It's just that low. To where Kanye and Kyrie can come in and all of a sudden the men saying they men of Yah. And all of them going saying we need to help them, support them, and we need to, because the Most High is sending them for us and all this. And those men just came in and went right back out the way they came in. And said, and these tribe of Judah looking silly. Ain't nan one come to the front and told the truth and said we really was taken. We was deceived. No, they ain't, because they are deceivers. They're known to be the deceivers. So that's why they didn't come out in the open and repent. They led a lot of people on this platform to believe Kanye and Kyrie were men of Yah. And these men turned around, looked at them, spit on them, and turned right back where they to the wicked hole that they came out of. And these Hebrew Israelites, so-called wannabe men, that's telling you what they really like at the end of the end days. They got their tails out there running behind them, thinking that they gonna come on the side of where they at. They left y'all tails right where y'all at. Now, nan one came back with repentance. We had pastors, bishops, Maureen, seers, and watchmen, apostles, and teachers sitting here supporting them. And there was no reason to support, because he said to the disciples, let's go. Matthew's 24 in verse 3, 4, and 5. And as he sat upon Mount Olive, the disciples came unto him privately, said, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? Now, this is disciples coming to him, wanting to know the signs of when he's coming back and of the end of the world. My question was, Father, why is it they want to know that? They're not going to be here. The Father says so that they can translate it as they go on in their journey, But then the more he let me go into it, I realized it was something that he wanted them to know. And then he told them what is to come. And it was something in it that we today, as 2 Timothy chapter 3 was warning us as well. So you're going to see where the deceivers, these are the men in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 and 9. These are the men that are deceiving the people. Okay. They have the same spirit as 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. That's that same spirit that the deceivers are going to have, and people are going to follow them. Okay. Now here it is. The disciples came to Yeshua on Mount Olive privately, just to ask him what was going to be the times of his coming, what was going to be the signs, or the signs of the end time. Did not in 2 Timothy chapter 3 told us the end times, how the men were going to conduct themselves? He just told us how they're going to conduct themselves. Now, here, Yeshua is going to say something to the disciples. Very, very, very powerful. Yeshua answered and said unto them, wait a minute. Take heed that no man deceive you. Why? Why is it Yeshua leaving this message with his disciples? Because Sister Deborah have left it with you all several times. The biggest one that's on the earth today are the deceivers. They were created just to deceive. They hear in big numbers. Now, how is it they deceiving? Because they're deceiving, pretending to worship the true and living Yah. And they're deceiving many that they are called to worship him and to teach him, preach about him, and you to learn of him through them. They are deceivers, you guys. They are the same one in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. They are the same ones, but they out here deceiving you. That's why they want the women not to speak. And they try to find just reason of why he said in the Old Testament as well as the New, in my last days, I'm going to pour out my spirit. My daughter and my sons, your daughters and sons shall prophesy, see visions. These things is not saying these women going to keep quiet. It's saying they're going to see things and they're going to speak on it. But what the men are saying, that no, they ain't going to get to speak. They got to keep quiet unless we allow them. No, baby. How are you going to allow them? And the spirit of Yah has been poured out on them, and he has not been on you. You don't. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and 1 through 9. That is not. You don't have the Holy Spirit. So how is you going to stop? See, that's Satan trying to stop the daughters of Zion from speaking after the spirit of Yah has been poured out on them and their sons. See, that now man want to get order. It said, no, you're not going to speak because you're supposed to be order. Order to who and what? Satan? Stand down and stop clowning. Because that was a prophecy in the old as well as the new. That in the end days, that he's going to pour out his spirit upon your daughters and your sons, and they shall prophesy and see visions, and that's showing you they got something to see. They got something to say, because the spirit of the Most High, higher, is on them. And it's not your order, nor is it Paul's order to tell them to keep quiet and override a higher's order that they shall prophesy. See, that's how bent they have deceived. Those are deceivers. So what did Yeshua say? In Matthew 24 and verse 4, Yeshua said to his disciples, let me tell you one thing. Y'all concerned about what it's going to be like, the signs for when I come, and in the end, he said, let me tell you one thing. Take heed. Be careful. Don't be deceived. Why? Because he knew that there are many deceivers out here coming to deceive many. And he's telling his disciples, y'all, take heed. Don't be caught up in being deceived by those deceivers. That's guaranteed you all today and yesterday that there's those who out there is going to pretend to be something that they are not. And you all going to fall for it. And that's what I have to say today. You all have fallen for it 100 without a doubt. And then he said in verse 5, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And shall deceive many. Why are they going to have that power to do that? Why? Because they're going to come in using the same technique. They're not coming to say, I'm Yeshua. They're not coming to say, I'm Yeshua. They're coming to say that I am, which is the Father, the power. I am the power. I am the power. I am is the Father. The power is his right hand. That's how they're going to deceive you all. With final words. I am the power. And what's going to happen? And shall deceive many for saying, I am the power. Well, what do you mean, Sister Deborah? Okay, when it said that come judgment, they're going to stand before the Most High and Yeshua. Come judgment, they're going to say, I did this in your name. I did this in your name. I did this in your name. What is they saying? In your name, Father, I use your power. In your name, Father, I use your power. So a lot of people thinking they said Yeshua is saying they coming in Yeshua. No, they ain't. They know ain't no power in nothing but that right hand. And they know that. That's how wicked the spirits of darkness are aware. And here the tribe of Judah still ain't caught in nothing. That's why they deny the power, because they don't know the power is the right hand of the Father, which is Christ, Hamashiach, the Father's right hand, all power. And that's what he's saying. They shall come not in Yeshua, but in I am. Now, when you go to Matthew 24 and you get to verse 23, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is the power. Or there, believe it not. 24, for there shall arise false crises. What are these false crises going to be doing? They're going to be showing signs and wonders using the power. You see? So the Father is saying when Kanye and Kyrie came, they came falsely. And everybody just assumed they had the power to represent the Most High or higher. And that's sad. And he told you not to go out after them. And every last one of these Hebrew Israelite men went chasing behind them, entertaining their words and their thoughts and who they are. That's sad. That just shows you the type of men he said that is identical to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. Now let's go on. So that's why the deceivers are out here in great numbers. In the last days, there are going to be many that come to deceive. And he's been warning us even to today, even in the last days, don't be deceived. But what happened? They were totally deceived. No spirit and truth with them, no spirit and truth in them. They cannot see, nor can they hear. Okay, now we get to Romans. Now, Romans chapter 1 is going to put the nail in the coffin. Okay, it's going back and it's sending a sign. Paul is saying something. And Romans chapter 1 and verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of the power. Yeshua, when he came down not just with word, but with power. Okay. And that's something we missed because we were thinking, okay, he was just coming here to be the blood sacrifice. And, no, he came with word and power. Okay. So what happens is, here it says in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, and I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power, for it is the power of Yah. It is the power of Yah. It is the power of Yah. And did you know today, in the year of 2023, not one Hebrew Israelite man know about that? Isn't that sad? It's not sad because this is still the Father's will. Isn't that something? They still don't know. But whatever. Now listen to this. Verse 16, Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power, for it is the power of Yah. Until salvation to everyone that believe. There to go that believe. To the Jews first and also to the Greeks. Now watch this here. You notice it says that the power through salvation to everyone that what? The power has ushered the salvation to everyone that has what? The brand belief. Now watch this here. See, what they didn't know was Yeshua is the power. Okay? And the power is the one that identifies the four brands. Ahia has branded his with belief, righteous, faith, and fear. And here he's saying that the power of salvation to everyone that believe, everyone that believe. Let me tell you, a dog can come up and say he believe. Let's get real with this now. Anybody can say they believe. Anybody, but they don't have the brand of belief. It's not what a man says out of his mouth. It's what's resting in him, in his spirit. Is he branded for the Father's name's sake? A lot of them don't know that. And that's why they're role playing and clowning, because they want to give you the impression they got this made. They say they full of the Holy Spirit. They the righteous one. See, they role playing. That's that clowning. Ever learning, never coming to the knowledge. They want to clown this thing out. And they don't understand how I already done worked it out. All right. Now in verse 17 it says, we in first chapter 1 of Romans, verse 17. For therein is righteousness of Yah revealed from faith to faith, as it is written. Where is it written? In the heavens. It's going back to let y'all know. Faith, belief, and righteousness and fear is a brand of the Most High Yah that he has branded his before they got down here. David was branded. Solomon was branded. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was branded. You all out here clowns, you are not branded for his name's sake. You just running around here clowning, deceiving the mass for the broad gate. That's all you're appointed and anointed to deceive the people. And you done an excellent job. But hold up. He got some more for you to deceive. Okay? So verse 17, for there is the righteousness of Yah revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, as it is in heavens, the just shall live by faith. You see, just is righteous, shall live by faith. We that are branded with righteous belief, faith, and fear, we are the true children of the Most High. Higher like him now. Now go on, finish clowning and role playing. Okay, verse 18. Now I like how he brings you into that power, and then he brings you right back into something. Watch this here. In verse 18, he sits and he says, Paul says, for the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodliness, unrighteousness of males, men, not women, males. So if you want to know about the unrighteous and the let me see what he said. Unrighteous and the ungodly, look at men. See, y'all women, y'all didn't know that, did you? He's telling you, look at the men. That's where it's at. The unrighteous and the ungodly ones is falling among the men. See, while we sitting around here letting them beat us like this here with their words and what they say, and we need to break out with this here book of instructions and directions. And we need to break out with it and stand tall and might with the Father within us and speak these words in which he give unto us. Now watch this here. In verse 18, it says, who holds the truth in unrighteous. Who is that holding truth in unrighteous? All. It says men. Verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, for a higher has shown it unto them. I want y'all to understand that you can say and think and feel and understand anything the way that you want. It don't matter. Your going and your coming, your ups and your down, your heavens and your hell. I mean, the lake of fire is already assigned in you. So how you like them now? It shows when you follow these men into this nonsense. Okay. Now it says in verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, for a higher have shown it unto them. For verse 20, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. It's clearly seen. Sister Deborah is trying to, that's why I can keep saying with such strength and power in what I'm saying. Because it's clearly seen. I ain't saying nothing that ain't seen. You see? Now watch this here. And being understood by the things which are made, even his eternal power. That's that right hand. Even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. What that is saying is, while y'all down here role playing and all up in these men rear end trying to make them kings, leaders, and rulers over what? And what for? This is not, this heavens ain't orchestrated no one to make somebody something that they have not earned in the eyes of Yah. So what you making them is a fool in your eyes. You're supporting their deceiving spirits, their deceiver spirits, so that you may be deceived as well. Okay. Now watch this here. Listen to this, verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were thankful. There go that thankful. The other one in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9, what did it says? They are unthankful. See, they ain't lying on these men. You all are lying on them, trying to make them to be something that they are not. And in their process of what they're doing, that's why they're trying to make women look bad. Their own women look bad. So that they may appear to be the light in this world. And the Father said, you ain't got no light coming. You better go to Deuteronomy 28 end game. How you like him now, you're going to be destroyed. That's the end game. I know they didn't teach it to you. They didn't preach it to you, because that's what these men are. They are deceivers. They're coming to deceive you from what is righteous versus what is not righteous. They're going to teach you the unrighteous will of the Father. Okay, so because that, when verse 21, when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their own imagination, and in their foolish heart was darkened. That is identical to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9, telling us how wicked our men are. And we want to make them good as good can be in this flesh. Stop running around here talking about we got good men. If you had good men, they'd be standing on these bad men. That's how good of a man you got. They'll be going up against all this wicked darkness, this perpetual hate that these men are having. They'll be chopping them in and chopping them out. Instead, they're adjoining them. Why? Because we in the midnight hour. We only got a few more minutes to go. And darkness has to exceed itself. This is a time period in which a higher has assigned to them. So they make sure that, okay, deceiver, make sure you get all the ones you're going to deceive now. We're getting late in here. The hour is near. You see? So, as he was saying is that they became 21, but came vain in their imagination, and in their foolish heart were darkened. Verse 22, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. He's talking to the men. While y'all sitting around here trying to put them on pedestals, make them kings and leaders and rulers in the land of their captivities. Who somebody got on a yoke around their neck, got their foot on their neck, and they trying to be kings and leaders and rulers to who? And to whom? Who are they trying to be this to? Y'all come on, wake up. Who are they trying to be this to? Foolish women. Instead of picking up the baton and running in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Running. No, they want to run to the face of a lion-mouthed man. And here it is in Romans chapter 1. Paul describing to you. I wonder what Paul said now in this here. But if the women keep quiet, then what's all this mess with the men? Come on now. What's all this you just throw down? And you won't, the Father told me, you women, do your search. And do your search very deep. See if you see the wicked and evil that the men are portraying against you in this book. He said you won't find it. So where are they coming from? Darkness, wicked and evil. Because they don't want you to identify them. Only one that can bring that out into the light is our men that are full of the Holy Spirit. And you ain't, and you want to call them good, those are the only one that's going to be labored good. It's that you ain't got no good men if they don't stand up on these rotten ones and proclaim unjust and unrighteous. That's how good of some men you think you got. And just because you got a good one where you at and you call him good because he ain't doing the things that you see these other men doing, but yet if he representing Yah and he called himself a man of Yah, he's supposed to be standing on top of him. And you'll see it at the end of Romans chapter 1. Verse it's in verse 32. Okay. Now, 22 says, Romans chapter 1, verse 22, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Verse 23, and changed the glory of an uncorruptible Yah into an image made like a corruptible man. And that's what he got these men thinking they are. They think they actually really thinking that they are worshiping Yah when they didn't try to put Yah down to their level to what they are and who they are. Even to the point of trying to say that the Father didn't give woman his image. You see how sick they sound? He didn't give her his image. He said, I made them in my likeness and my image. But man says the woman didn't get it, only the man. You see the sickness? And yes, the reason why they are executing all of these things, you all, these, just look at how they trying Yah. Listen how they it is being revealed through Paul how the men work toward Yah. So what makes you think you woman, you flesh, what makes you think he gonna treat you any better? Or gonna treat you any just or any righteous? No way. Okay. Uh in verse 23, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible Yah into an image made like a corruptible man. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you hear men say that the father had two wives, it's just like men on the earth can have more than one wife and they have multi wives when the father in heaven had two wives. Anytime you run around here women and you said we got good men and not one man stand up on top of these negative wicked men and tell them you out of order and what you said wasn't appropriate, they are just as worse as they are. That's why they are worse than they are, or just as worse. Because every man on the face of the earth, when a man stand up and announce that the father had two wives, the father in heaven, the creator, everybody, any righteous man of the most high, male, white, Mexican, anybody heard that should have stood up on top and ate that man inside out with words, with power. You didn't hear nobody tell them you all are out of order saying something like that. No man said anything. Because too many of them are like that. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and start to read from 16 on down. Here's the end game. You are destroyed. Okay? That's the end game of that curse. Since everybody waiting for the curse to end, it ain't going to end till you are destroyed. You didn't get it, did you? You never do. And here it is. And he said, and they turned him into an uncorruptible, to corruptible man, and a bird, and a four-footed beast, and a creeping thing. When you sit and say that he's like a man that, because a man want to lust and have his pleasure with many wives, that will be his only reason, especially in this day and time. So why would you sit and say, put a father, a creator, which is a spirit, down to the level of your flesh? And that's what he said. You brought him to the level of incorrupt, or you brought him in uncorruptible Yah into the image of a like unto a corruptible man. And I don't know why the other men that surrounding men that talk like that ain't stepped into that, because there's no righteous in them, y'all. They don't have the brand of the most high or higher. So what did he say in verse 24? Wherefore Ahiah also gave them up to an uncleanness through the lust of their own heart. Of their own heart. Let them have their way, Deborah. Let them go on. Have many wives as they want to. Let them do what that pleases them. Let them go on and keep women that they have there under their feet, and let them rule and let them do what they want. What's going to happen when they realize them ruling don't mean nothing, when they have to be destroyed? Okay. Okay. And then it says, wherefore Ahiah gave them up unto a unclean through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. He talking about to men. Your own body between themselves. Isn't that messed up? That's messed up from the floor. Okay. 25. Who changed the truth of Yah into a lie. They known for that. That's what deceivers do. Okay. And worship and serve the creature more than the creator. They're idolizing man now. That's the creature. They serve him. instead of Yah, the true creator. They serve man. Mm, 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 mm. And what happened? Creator more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Now watch this here. For this cause Yah gave them up to a veil affection. Okay. For even their women did change the natural use unto that which is against nature. Now, nature. You know what that's saying? Her change, she letting them do everything to her body that is against nature. It doesn't say it that he didn't put her in the same guideline as homosexual like the men were to one another. He ain't saying that about her. So that's why I know that these men, they don't understand when the babies comes out of the men. And when it comes out of them, their ways spill over, and you bring forth children with that same spirit in you. That same, not the same spirit, but that same wickedness. That's what they call generational curse. It travels down the bloodline. It continue to go on. So a lot of the men don't understand, when you see these homosexual men out here, they came from men. They came from you, your father, your grandfather. When he was messing when y'all was messing with y'all little y'all cousins, your sons and your babies, all that ran all the way back. So that's what you see, the product of what you see today. So you see in the gays, but the gays is a product of who you are and your forefathers that had started that generational curse that never end, because man embrace it because they find pleasure in the things of the flesh. And that's why he said he gave them up, so that they can meet their own desires of their hearts. See, and then when it came down to women, it was talking about her natural rectum, putting her mouth, doing everything to try to please and bring pleasure to a man. Just to do what? What Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. You always trying to please, long for him, desire him. And this is the way he conduct himself, and thinking the creator ain't got no say so about it. And that's what was bothering me the last time I saw all this. I'm like saying, no, you ain't gonna let them get away with that. You see? Because you're seeing this and you're wondering, well, what will make a creator let them get away with it? He said to me today, and then when he was teaching me this, look what all they done got away with, Deborah. Don't you think I got something to sign for that? Yes, I know you do. I know you do. So he said in verse 26, for this cause Yah gave them up to a veil affection, for even their wives did change the natural use. Their women did change the natural use, that which is against nature. It wasn't homosexual women. It was telling you how you're letting them do whatever they want to your body because of what they were doing to each other. Even you decided. See, they don't see that where it says even their women. Let me see where it's at. Even their women. He's letting them know that because of the things you've done, your women have changed to even their natural use because of what you're doing. And then he go right back again into the men, saying, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use. He's going back into the men, telling them that you left the natural use of a woman, burning in their lust one toward another. See, women, you all don't get it. He's showing you that these men has turned from you as a woman, as a wife. They didn't turn their affection and their love and anything from you. And you run around here trying to get your boobs done, wear your weave down to the ground, get your butt hiced up, and trying to please them in every way that cannot be done, said the Most High. Read Romans chapter 1, verse 16 to 32. It can't be done. Then go to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. It can't be done. You're not going to please these men. If they out of order with Yah, they're going to be out of order with you. And I know Ahia put a desire in you to long for them and to please them. But let me tell you something. Seek ye the Father first, foremost. Give up all of this wickedness. They're not going to stop doing nothing they doing. Nothing for you. Nothing. This is why Sister Deborah been on this platform telling women, stop running around here trying to be submissive to these men. That's not what he's telling you to do. Why do you think the world is in the condition that it's in? Don't let nobody tell you it's because of Eve. He ended the world before. And what Eve did, what happened? See, they can't answer it. And for the same reason in Genesis chapter 6, he ended the world because of what we see in today in Romans chapter 1, verse 16 to 32, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9. He ended the world for a lot of these same reasons. Sex trafficking, selling their daughters. See, they don't want to teach and preach that. They don't want the women to open their mouth, because if they open their mouth, too much spirit and truth going to come out. It's going to show you who the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel really are in the eyes of Yah. Not in the eyes of the flesh of man, but in the eyes of Yah. And they don't want you to do that. See, because these men ain't going to stand up on this here with Sister Deborah's teaching. That's reading out of the book that they read out of. And it's more than just these verses. Okay. And he said in verse 27, Romans chapter 1 and verse 27, likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of a woman, burning in their lust one toward another, men with men, working which is unseemly, and receiving themselves a recompense of their error, which was met. They doing this on their own, women. This ain't nothing about what you have, what you don't have. It ain't about nothing about no virgin. It ain't about how many men you have. Y'all telling you don't hear nothing like that in here. It's about them. It always have been about them and the pleasure of the body that they took on. The lust and Satan played a big role in it, but they played more role in their flesh along with Satan. Okay. And in verse 28, and it says, and even as they did not like to retain Yah in their knowledge, Yah gave them up to a reprobated mind. See, and this is what you all don't understand. Women, you're trying to serve men that has a reprobate mind. And they're deceiving you that they're serving Yah. Seek ye the kingdom of Yah first, and let Ahia add everything he wants for you in your life. Now let's continue. And to do the things which are not convinced. That means that he's going to let them do it, y'all. He gave them a reprobated mind. So if you're wondering why these men have this perpetual hate, don't forget Ahia then gave up on them. The reason why men can stand up on pulpits and stand and make videos after videos about videos, turning every issue into a woman. Oh, she did this. These women are like this. These women are like that. And then they get the silly women to come up and say, yeah, our black women like this. They hate us. Then they get some over in Africa. All the black women in America. When they finish, guess what? You're the one that's going to get up out of here to be heading to the promised land. You're the ones. You see, that's that small remnant. You're the ones. That's why when they talk about 7 women to 1 man, what happened to the men? Go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25. He tells the women, I am going to destroy them with the sword in the war. And even the ones that wants to be mighty, they're going to die too. See, we don't see that. You don't see Deuteronomy 28, the end game of Deuteronomy 28. Keep them, crush them, destroy them until they are fully destroyed. Oh, the men ain't going to teach y'all that. And that's why I say it's a sad thing to have a husband and wife on this devil platform. For what? There's no spirit and truth being told. If the man see things that women are doing, then he and her and the wife should expound. But if the woman she's seen men doing, why is it the man don't be on there saying, yep, and the men, y'all need to stop doing men? No, scared, scared, scared to stand up for what is righteous, scared to show the light, to reveal light, scared. That's why a lot of our men gonna lose their lives. And another thing, let me complete this here. In verse 29, Romans chapter 1 and verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliceness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit. Now, don't tell me that I don't see that. Maglac, tit, and whispers, backbiters, haters of Yah, despiser, proud, boasters, inventors, evil things, disobedient to parents. It's wiping 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 to 9, wiping it all up, letting you know, this is what's going on with the men in the last days. While y'all trying to put them on pedestals, trying to make them kings, leaders, and rulers, use a fool, and use a gonna be a fool. Go sit here and try to make them something they ain't even trying to make themselves. And the instruction and direction, God, they're sitting here telling you the things and the way these men are going to be in the last days. And we're trying to put them on something they ain't entitled to. Put them where they belong. Women trying to keep silent because Paul said keep silent. What about what he's going to pour out in his spirit? And who's going to tell those that Ahiah has called to keep quiet? Who gave you the power to have the authority in the flesh to tell a woman to keep quiet? You keep quiet like you've been keeping quiet. You ain't telling nobody spirit and truth nor any light. Now keep quiet because you are quiet. You's a quiet deceiver, deceiving them people, deceiving the deceivers. No, the deceivers are deceiving the deceive, and the deceivers, while deceiving the deceived, they're being deceived themselves. Because spirit and truth going to step all up on you and up out of you. So I, Sister Deborah, don't want to hold you too much longer, but I want to let you all know that the tribe of Judah have set a lot of traps for the nation. And the nations, the nation of the tribe of Judah, they have set a lot of traps, a lot of rat traps. I would say mouse, that they setting up a lot of rat traps. And that, what I mean is that it's going to be a time where when you get ready to go somewhere, when you go to the store, or when you go anywhere, you substitute to not come home, okay? Because what they're doing is they out here now, not now, but they've been doing it, but they now it's coming out. It's being revealed on the four corners, and it's being shown to the white supremacists and all of them that, okay, they out here killing up our women and our men for no reason, you see. And we sat around as women calling ourselves women of Yah, and because there's no men of Yah out there, we stand here trying to do the best we can to warn you all that they out here killing like crazy. And what's going to happen is when you see the other races coming in killing your children, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. When you start to see these heathens and these Gentiles taking y'all tails out, don't say nothing. Because I'm not going to say nothing, because it's time for the tribe of Judah to get what Ahiah has prepared for them for this judgment. You know, the heathens already saw theirs gone. They're out. But when I see the tribe of Judah sitting here thinking they smarter than smart, and they really the dumbest human beings on the face of the earth, what make them the dumbest? It's because if he chose you all them thousands of years and you ain't recognized that the creator chose you as his children, and all you have done is spit on him and call yourself kicking him. He said that's what it was saying in Romans chapter 1. That's what Romans chapter 1 verse 16 all the way down to 32. That's what it was saying. What you were doing, what the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel was doing to the Father against him. You see, so it's just, you would have to be the dumbest people on the face of the earth. You would have to be the dumbest people on the face of the earth to do that to a creator. And still today, in the year 2022, all you have is perpetual hate for your own people. Men are out here killing their men and killing women and killing, and you all don't see nothing wrong with it. But now what they have done, which a lot of you all won't talk about, because the women sitting around here up in the rectum of the men and letting them do what the things that pleases themselves. They're not pleasing you. Romans chapter 1 verse 16 to 32. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 through 9, showing you they ain't got no fear for you. So what are you doing? You're putting them on pedestals for Satan. And then you climbing up there too. Oh, I got something to say. And this is what really got to me when I saw this. Listen to it. What Romans, the end of Romans. I should have finished it, but let me show you what the end of Romans said. But it's very powerful too, because every time I always say I'm going to listen to what Romans says. Romans chapter 1 verse 32, who knowing the judgment of Yah, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. See, you better watch yourself. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're dealing with. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. But what I was saying is, they have set the word to fulfill. They're coming after you all as a race. They're coming after you. They're coming after you. Women, your daughters and sons. So get ready. Make sure you get a lot of Kleenex and everything you're going to need, because they're coming after you. Because what the tribe of Judah is doing is they have seen it to be so easy and simple to just, they crazy up here, first of all. And they would have to be when they have not recognized the most high, higher period, and been here 400 years and still ain't. So something got to be wrong with them. So they're out there now going and stepping into the other race, and taking lives of the other race. So when the race, when they retaliate, they ain't gonna look at me as a prophetess or you as a mother for children. They gonna start taking your tails out. And you all wanted to support these men. You said they the rulers, kings, and leaders. You want to support what they wrongdoing and what they teaching these men to go out here and do. That's that hate. And a lot of women don't even understand. These men been sick since their forefathers. These men is not sick today and in the 400 years. These men been sick. The problem with it is you keep on and have always put them on pedestals to make them think that everything's okay. And when they don't take care of their children and take care of home, it's okay. You made them be not. It wasn't your fault that they were like that, but you helped them in this. You didn't, and that's why when he took out Solomon and Gomorrah, it didn't say nothing about them women was involved at that door. It didn't say nothing about their daughters. Just imagine them babies and them daughters and the mothers. Didn't they go down? Did not they go down? In Genesis 6, when he ended the world, did not the female go down? So the father father don't care it when we stand around and okay it. Now in this time, we got a chance to step away from it because he marked his. Hallelujah. He marked them two ways. He marked them on the outside and he marked them on the inside. For we are branded for his name's sake. Now don't think now. We do have men that's going to go in the small remnant, but it's going to be more women than men. And the dry bones is another lesson I want to really expound on and really get into, because the dry bone speaks very a message too. I don't know for sure, but I believe the dry bones are the house of Israel, David's military. hmm Dry represents it been those bones been scattered all over the place for a long time. We got to come into the spiritual realm and pull out of the natural, because when we reading, we want to take that. He's talking to Isaiah in the spirit, just like Abraham. When Abraham believed, he didn't believe in the flesh, he was in the spirit realm, receiving his brand, to receiving the ideal of recognizing the brand that's on him: belief, faith, fear, and righteous. He was counted righteous. He was already in there. He was already counted in there because it was written. So a lot of things that's taking place, you guys. I'm glad to be back, and most likely tomorrow I will be live 7 p.m. Central Time. And I don't know what I'm going to cover, but I want you to just go over this video and write down a lot of the information in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 9, and Romans chapter 1, verse 16 through 32. I know Romans chapter 16 and 17 is beautiful because it shows you the brand I was telling you about. It shows you the brand that is under the righteous, the faith, and uh, um, the belief, and fear is in there as well. Those are brands of the most high, higher. It is written already in heaven that those are the one that comes down for his name's sake. So I, Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. And I know I took a pretty long time, and I hope this benefits someone. And I don't want you to get the idea that Sister Deborah is saying all men, even Yah has stated in Isaiah chapter 3 and verse no Isaiah chapter 4, 7 women to 1 man. That's trying to let you know what had took place that brought it to that level. Okay, so it just something is going on. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, put the Most High first. Seek ye the kingdom of heavens, and allow whatever he has to give you and for you. So let him give it unto you. So I, Sister Deborah, says, Shalom and Shalom.